Hello, my name is Mary Beth Magee. I'm an author and speaker, and I love sharing information about my books with readers, librarians, family members, you name it. If you like books, I like to talk to you about books. As you can see, I have a few books. I've written cozy Christian mysteries. I've written short stories. I've written children's books. I write devotionals. I've appeared in anthologies, including 3 volumes of Chicken Soup for the Soul, and I'm pretty proud of that. And keep trying to get into more volumes because I love being a part of that positive effort. For you as a reader, if you pick up one of my books, I can promise you what you'll get will be something that will lift you up, not push you down. Even in my mysteries, which of course involve murder, there is an uplifting underlying message because of the faith of the people involved. My first book, Death in the Daylilies, was my first standalone novel. Up until that time, I had done journalism, I had written training materials, I had been in short stories, but I had not written a full-blown novel. My mother always wanted to see my name on a binding. Here it is, Mom. So when I wrote Death in the Daylilies, I dedicated it to my mom because she's the one that I was writing it for. And I promise you, when you get into my books, it's going to be something you're not ashamed to share with your mother, your sister, your siblings, your kids, your grandkids. You're not going to have to be ashamed of anything in that book. The protagonists of Death in the Daylilies are 3 little old ladies. I wonder where I got the expertise for that one. But I promise you I know what I'm talking about because I am one. I am a senior citizen. And our motto, which has become the motto of my characters, is LOL to the 4th power. Little old ladies, laughing out loud, living our lives with lots of love. And that's love for friends, love for family, love for community. We want to share love in the world. There's just not enough of it. And that's what I want to share with my LOL to the 4th power mysteries. That and the fact that senior citizens can be pretty feisty too. Doesn't have to be a 20-something running around chasing bad guys. We, as senior citizens, have a lot to offer. And that's what I offer in my books. The follow-up to Death in the Daylilies is Ambush at the Arboretum. Same primary characters, some new side characters coming in, and another mystery. Part of that mystery centers around a mixed breed dog named Magpie. Magpie has a habit of collecting things, and it's her collecting things that involves the LOLs in another mystery. Both of these are standalone, but they also go together, so you don't have to read one to read the other, although of course I hope you will. My children's books include Pearl the Turtle. The 2nd volume of Pearl the Turtle will be out by the time you're viewing this. Pearl is a Pearl River map turtle, a very special kind of turtle. They're an endangered species and indigenous to the Pearl River and its tributaries. I love Pearl because they're just such adorable little turtles. They have a little spine down their back. In her first book, she's dealing with peer pressure. In this next book, she'll be dealing with making friends with people who don't look exactly like her. like a Gulf Coast box turtle. I love having the plushes that I can take with me to book events, and I share them with you virtually and hope that you'll enjoy them. Other than my children's books, I do devotionals. My Devotions from the Road of Life series, and the most recent one of that is When the Road Gets Rough, dealing with pandemic and global issues that are going on now. How do we deal with those rough times? Where do we turn? And that's what that book is about. I'd like to share with you a little bit from Death in the Daylilies. Death in the Daylilies deals with my three little old ladies going on a daylily driving tour and, of course, running into mischief. So here we go. Garden beds stretched out beyond a neat white picket fence. A greenhouse stood to the rear of the beds, and a rambling ranch-style home anchored the property far to the right of the gardens. "Shall we?" asked Susanna with a broad sweep of her arm toward the garden's entryway. "I don't see the owner yet, but daylilies await, and the day's fast passing. She may be showing another group around. We'll keep an eye out for her." "How will I know her?" I asked. Susanna laughed. "I don't think you'll be able to miss her. She's loud and showy and a bit self-centered. If you meet her, you probably won't get a chance to wonder, because she'll tell you who she is and just how special she is." I looked to Hope, who nodded in agreement. With a shrug of my shoulders, I turned and followed the others as they headed for the entrance. As we walked toward the vine-covered arch covering the entry to the garden path, we chatted about the pleasant setting and the array of colors in the garden beds. Wind chimes in the surrounding trees provided a soundtrack for our steps. Our paths diverged as we neared the beds, and each of us drifted toward the patch of color which most attracted her. I've always found myself drawn to flowers in shades of yellow, orange, rose, and peach, and today was no exception. I read the labels on each of the flowers I passed, both amused and bemused by some of the names. New to flower gardening, I tried to absorb all the details I could as I read the tags. I had taken in a lot of information in the last few months and found myself considering different cultivars for my own use. The little house I rented from Hope had only a small yard, but I had room for a few plants. All-American Tiger, Stamile, 1995, I read, as I examined a bloom in burnt orange and red. I had finally gotten used to the idea of the name of the grower who developed the particular variety and the year it was registered, following the name of the cultivar. Love the name. That would be a big hit in Louisiana with the LSU fans, if only the colors were purple and gold. Very pretty as it is, though. I wonder if there's a variety named All-American Bulldog. Maybe over in the beds of darker red flowers. But this Raspberry Butterflies Gossard 2003 is lovely. As I continued down the beds, I noticed Hope was focused on the beds of purplish blooms, while Susanna was engrossed in head-down study of the red ones. Angelic Messenger, Abidjan 2001. Wow, so delicate, I observed to myself. I examined the rosy, roughly blooms. I love the look. I wonder if I could get it to grow at my place. As I studied the group of creamy white flowers marked Arctic Lace, Stamile 2003, I spotted broken leaves and bent stems in the next bed over in my peripheral vision. The sight seemed so out of keeping with the tidiness of the other beds that I stepped closer to check out the situation. I took one long look and stepped back, not believing what I saw. With a whispered prayer that I was mistaken, I stepped nearer and looked again, but nothing had changed. Hope? Susanna, could you come here a second? I called, and I heard my voice trembling as I stood by the disheveled flower bed. My two companions hurried over across the grass between the beds. I guess they could tell how upset I was by my tone. "What's wrong?" asked Hope as they got close. "Are you okay, honey? Are you feeling sick?" I think I'm okay, but I'm not sure," I replied. I focused on the faces of my companions for a moment. "I realize you two are the master gardeners and know a whole lot more about gardening than I do, but I don't think this is the normal gardening technique." I pointed down to the bed of crushed plants and the pair of red paisley garden boots on the barely visible legs of a woman's body stretched out face down among the daylilies. And that's how the little ladies discover death in the daylilies. I hope that if you enjoy mysteries, you'll check out Death in the Daylilies and Ambush at the Arboretum. The third volume, which is Blood on the Bottle Tree, is in the works. Kind of got put on the back burner for Pearl the Turtle, but that's okay because Pearl's almost done. She'll be out by the time you see this. When I write to be something that I wouldn't be ashamed to show to my mother, something that I wouldn't be ashamed to read to my granddaughter. And I hope that if you enjoy that sort of a book, whatever age group you're reading for, that you'll consider my books. Also, if you are a member of a reading group and you would like to have me come and talk to your group, in spite of COVID, in spite of distance, whatever, we can do that. We can do it live, circumstances permitting, or we can do it virtually. Zoom, Facebook Live, we can get together and share our love of books. Thanks for joining me today. I appreciate it, and I look forward to hearing from you. My website is www.lol4.net. Visit me, contact me. I'd love to get with you and talk about books. Have a great day, and thanks.